It seems like barrel bourbon can do no wrong. Let's see if batch 35 continues the trend. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Bourbon Hutch, and thanks so much for joining me on this journey through the world of whiskey. So today we actually have another sample sent to me from the blenders over at Barrell Craft Spirits. We've got Barrell Bourbon Batch 35, which is coming out this summer here and should be hitting shelves relatively soon near you. In terms of what Barrell Bourbon has been up to, Batch 32 was beloved by Barrell Bourbon fans. Batch 33 got even more praise. Then Batch 34 came out and people were raving over that. And now we've got Batch 35. If the numbers keep going up, does that mean the quality of the whiskey just keeps rising? Let's see. What are we looking at here with Barrell Bourbon Batch 35? It says here that it is at least 6 years old and 117.5 proof. I believe everything Barrell does is at barrel strength. I do actually have a note here from Barrell Bourbon themselves about what went into making this blend, so I'll read that off for you guys. So it says, Barrell Bourbon Batch 35 is a blend of 6, 7, 8, and 13-year-old bourbons. A multi-mash bill blend of 6 and 7-year-old spicy and earthy, high rye, high proof, oak-forward barrels was combined with a blend of 8-year-old, softer, lower-proof barrels with concentrated notes of dark cherry and butterscotch. After mingling for 2 months, 13-year-old barrels with dominant fruit flavors were layered in. A portion of these barrels had more tropical fruit notes, and the other portion showed more dried and candied fruit notes. The resulting bourbon is peppery and intriguing on the nose, and sweet and long on the finish. Okay. That seems like a wonderful description to me. Let's see how that all translates over to my experience today with this on the nose, palate, and finish. In terms of pricing here, Barrell Bourbon, a lot of their stuff is usually in that $80 to $90 range. So a little bit more on the expensive side, but again, almost everything they do has been firing on all cylinders lately, including their more limited releases like the Seagrass Rye and Barrell Vantage, both really good products. So let's dive into Batch 35 here on the nose. Ooh, interesting. I'm definitely getting that dark cherry note that they described. A nice vanilla as well, very sweet vanilla. And a surprising tropical kind of hint to it. I don't know if it's banana or maybe a little bit more, not sour, but tart, like a pineapple. It's definitely banana-y and maybe a touch of pineapple. Wow, okay. There is an earthiness here as well. There's oak, for sure, oak. Maybe a touch of cinnamon. Maybe the slightest bit of like clove or something earthy. I always struggle with the earthy notes. I'm more of like a coffee caramel guy than I am a tea guy, and I feel like this has like a touch of that tea quality. Really interesting nose. Very sweet. A little bit brighter. It's not super dark. The cherry is darker though, but inviting for sure. And almost no alcohol punch here. Really, I can dig in, I feel like, and not get much of an ethanol punch, which is always nice. All right, that's a pretty good nose, pretty good start. Let's dive into the palate here. First sip, cheers. Okay. Yeah. I think their description of that sort of pepperiness, spot on. Right in the middle, there's this peppery, green peppercorn, black pepper kind of note. And it is earthy. It's got these earthy, oaky, spicy qualities all through the middle. Very front end of the palate, I got more of that banana, pineapple burst. Then it really went peppery and spicy and oaky. And then it tames down and I get more of like a coffee bean, something earthy, something grounded, and then it's got a little bit of like a honey note, And then that butterscotch they were describing is there as well for me on the finish. So the finish kind of sweetened up some of the spices lingering, but that was really prominent in the mid palate for me. All right, now that we've got it on the palate, let's go in for a second sip, see if we can pick out some more flavors. Cheers. Yeah. Again, very similar sipping experience there for me. Continuing to get more of that butterscotch on the back end, which is really nice. The pepper note is undeniable. The high rye here is prominent. The oaky, spicy, straight up like black pepper, like almost like chili pepper kind of spice in the middle of the palate is really raises up and just overwhelms everything for a minute there. And then it kind of slowly tames back down to give you some more sweet notes on the back end. Again, front end I get maybe just a touch of that like banana, pineapple, cherry kind of experience. A little bit more of that cherry comes back, I think, toward the back end, and some of that oak lingers as well. All right, so far I'm enjoying it. Mid palate is real spicy. The feeling in the mouth feel is pretty robust, so pretty strong there. I don't think this is like proofy in the sense that you're getting a lot of ethanol punch, but the spice is aggressive. Okay, let's go in for the third sip here and evaluate the whole experience, but particularly let's pay attention to the finish. Cheers. Okay, that was the best sip so far. It had more all around it. So again, the very beginning is more of this like, I got a little brown sugar and that banana note. It's almost like it wants to be like an Old Forester or 1792. I get those kind of notes on that. But then in the mid palate, it reminds you that it's 117.5 proof and high rye, earthy, oaky notes really come to play. Again, it is that black pepper, almost clove, allspice, really aggressive and shocking to the mouth, like really peppery and effervescent in the mouth. And then it kind of tames down. More of that banana and cherry came back for me. And this time I definitely picked up a healthy dose of like orange citrus, which I know people get on Barrell quite a bit. So for me, that orange citrus was there for sure. Even as we're talking right now, I'm continuing to get that oak, maybe even a touch of like coffee bean, that earthy quality. So that finish lingers for quite a long time, and a little bit of that spice just continues for quite a while as well. All right, so now that we've tasted Barrell Batch 35, I actually still have some of the sample of Barrell Batch 34. Wanted to do a quick comparison for you guys just so you can see kind of the differences here in what I've been experiencing. All right, over here now we've got Barrell Batch 34, which I also really enjoyed this sample. Smelling it, similar, it's like a little bit lighter, brighter, more of that citrus coming through. Some of that banana note even in here too. Oh yeah, now coming back off of this one has a lot more earthy, darker notes. Similar DNA, I think, but you can tell there's a darker quality there with some earthy experiences. All right, let's go to Barrell Batch 34 on the palate just for a quick comparison. Cheers. Okay, so they actually are somewhat related. Still some spice there, good sweetness. This one tends much more toward like vanilla and orange citrus for me, more like a creamsicle note. A little bit smoother and sweeter. And Barrell Batch 35 is a little bit more earthy, peppery, aggressive, and some interesting kind of popping in there of tropical notes. Though I will say the finish I really like there, where it kind of smooths out into that butterscotch note with some spice. Barrell Batch 34 is quite good though. Barrell Batch 35 I think brings a higher level of flavor punch, but that comes with more aggression. All right, everybody, that's going to be my full review with a little bit of an extra comparison back to Barrell Batch 34. But Barrell Batch 35, really, really solid. Let me know if you've been able to taste Barrell Batch 35 yet, or if it's hit shelves near you, and if you're looking forward to yet another batch, yet another great blend from Barrell. Until I see you guys again for another video, all I can say is keep drinking good whiskey and cheers.